this stuff is not something they teach you about. They don't even like. No one's ever talked to me at my universities about how this works and how the market works. And did you get any of that?
I don't think they should.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a thing they teach you. I think you should learn how to be a good painter, a good artist, have a consistent practice. But they're supposed to teach you how to think,
Mm-hmm.
They're not supposed to be like, all right, what you got to do is get into the art world and like make
no,
this.
But I mean,
and, like,
a little understanding of how, like, because there's so many people that graduated.
But you learn that stuff in your life,
Not everybody does.
You better.
There's a lot of
go
people,
learn it.
There's a lot of people that just that to me, it's just shocking how many people graduate with degrees that don't understand the industry that they're in. And that to me, what's more shocking is people who graduate with degrees that can't fucking hang their painting on the wall. Oh, really? That's a lot? That is like more than half. Really? They don't know how to stretch a canvas. They don't know how to build. So they're just buying materials? They don't know how to build jack shit. They don't know how to hang jack shit. Wow. It's pathetic. I guess I haven't. Those are like basic skills. Yeah. Not even like conceptual anything. Yeah, it's just No, I mean, but I think that pragmatic stuff. I'm just. I mean, like, you're not the only person that says that you can't learn that there. I've also had people say that before, but to me, it just seems like such a black hole, especially if you go for free and you're just learning that to like be an artist. Yeah, that's. But fine. I mean, like, did you have visiting artists come in from outside into school? Maybe I'm just revealing how shitty my program was. Because they people who are exhibiting artists. Mm-hmm. Like when I went to even undergrad, but grad school for sure, internationally exhibiting artists that lived in New York or wherever would come in and do a day of studio visits, and then give a lecture on their work, and then you have lunch with them, and then they leave, and it's like that's where you get. And you can ask, hang out, you have lunch with them, just ask them, be like, how do you do it? Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't know. It's just so much grinding to learn. You just have to turn 75. Yeah, that's all. You just have to interview more than 230 people, and then finally you'll start to crack the code as to how this system works. The problem is that actually a lot of them that would come in, you'd ask those kind of questions, and they're like, I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Like, no, yeah. Like, I'm broke. Like, what should I do? Well, okay. I guess and you're like, oh man, this is going to be a long road. Here's my frustration with that. There is a huge contingent out here in LA, and I'm sure it's everywhere, of people that basically function entirely within the artist-run scene, and that's fine. I'm not disparaging it, but the number of people I think do that because they don't know any other way. And it's the first thing that presents itself, and it's the most accessible thing. Like, I think that there's a lot of people that if they had been instructed a little bit on how, just not even like how to do it yourself. Yeah, but they live in the same city as all this stuff that's going on. They could just go down the street and go to any number of galleries. But then why go to art school at all? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying like. Why? Yeah. Well, okay. Fair enough. I'm saying why not just start a podcast and to move to a city like this or New York is equally as valid as going to art school. Yeah. In terms of like, you want to learn just how to do it. Yeah, because I just set up a studio. The thing that's crazy to me, nothing's stopping you, is how many, especially now with TikTok, YouTube, and all this shit. You can just I mean, like, it's pretty insane that in the last 15 years we've gone from a time where you have to like get people to come to your studio to see your work, which is not easy. No. Even if you live down the street from someone, to like, you can just post images and literally everyone in the world will see it, can see it. Mm-hmm. Like, no, it's complete. It's pretty insane. It's a complete change. It has changed like everything. There's this woman, Martha something, that does like, she's an art coach that is that like I've been curious. A few people that I know that are doing very well have taken her classes, and basically what she teaches you is how to be a business person artist, right? How to sell work and stuff like that. And to me, that's just it. It doesn't seem to me. It seems like if that woman can do it, like why can't they have some classes? That's all. Like just sort of like, because I remember we study art history, right, in art school, and we learn about how the church was funding all these people and all of that. But you get to art school, no one teaches you how that happens. So I think a lot of people really do not understand like what the hierarchies are. Like maybe have a teacher be like, yo, there's artist run galleries, blah, blah, blah. Like you kind of have to learn that by interacting with artist run galleries, and you realize like, oh, these galleries are cool and they may have good programming, but they're not selling work. So like, where is the work being sold? Then you go and you check out Night Gallery and all of that. But like, it's not that hard for somebody that's navigated these spaces that is a teacher. Now, what makes me think about that, especially in my case, was that a lot of these teachers don't teach that because they don't fucking know it.
And they also don't sell their work too.
They also don't sell
their work. They
don't
show it. They don't sell it. They just teach. Yeah.
So to me, that is a failing of the current way that art education works.
Maybe
like I'm not saying that they have to, and I'm not saying like that.
But it's also such a good job that like why would you care at that point?
Yeah.
I mean the benefits, the pension, the salary, you get a free studio.
At what point are you scamming students who think that they're learning one thing?
I don't think you're scamming them. I think I think you're being a little too hard on these teachers. I think
Did you get a teaching job?
No. But,
that's all I'm saying. And you're right. I probably am very hard on them because I have had very traumatic experiences.
Yeah. It's a different, making art is unique to the person.
Yeah.
That's making it. And it's a different type of studio practice.
Yeah.
You do whatever you need to do to like survive, and then you have to give you the opportunity to have a studio practice, to have time to do it, and for a teacher that's teaching, and for someone living in LA or New York and having a day job or whatever, or a whole other career that they retire from, in some cases.
Yeah.
Then that's. Or if you move to the middle of nowhere and it's cheap to live,
yeah,
you do that. It's just a different studio practice.
Maybe
I don't think it's less valid. I don't think teaching and not showing, for example.
No.
Not that teachers don't show, but if you were not exhibiting and you were teaching in a university and you had your studio practice, then I don't think it's less valid than like what people do here.
No. I want to be clear. I have people like that on the show that, I'm not like, oh, if you don't sell your work, you're not an artist. That's not that to me, if you make art, you're an artist. Like it's that simple. Even if in fact, you may not even declare yourself as an artist, I'll still give you the artist thing. It's just more of like the value of your education, and I get that structure is beneficial. I definitely learned, even despite my horrible experiences, I definitely learned a lot from going to undergrad about art, and it changed my ideas of how conceptual works and stuff like that. That education is invaluable. I just think that it's interesting. I just think that there's an element of the blind leading the blind. You're enabling somebody who has like a need to make something, continue to like, honestly, like you're going to school to learn a skill that's not going to pay the bills, right? So that to me, in that sense.
But is it? Should we cancel the English departments and like the?
No, but they should
comparative literature.
But acting programs teach you how to go on auditions. So I would just say that I'm not saying cancel the whole thing. I'm saying like make it a little bit more. At least have people know how to hang paintings. and then also have people understand the world that they're going into so they can make an informed decision. Because I think that a lot of people are leaving grad school and don't have a fucking clue what to do with themselves, And so, anyway, I mean, I'm obviously not going to convince you that is a problem. And
I just think that you teach what you know.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just the way it is. You're getting taught from people who are, I did it this way. So, I mean, if I was teaching, I would just tell them what I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might not be helpful to most people.
No, for sure.
They'd be well, I want to learn like this. And I'd be like, I don't really know.
Yeah. But I would say that the apprenticeship model is a little bit better at making people feed themselves. To me, it is a privileged educational system that says that you are going to learn all these skills of labor that you are not necessarily being taught how to monetize.
Yeah.
And I think that is totally valid, but to some degree it is elitist and it is exclusive to people who can afford to dedicate that much free time into learning something.
But you also, I mean, there's lots of people who go to art school that succeed in other fields when they're done.
Yeah.
Because of the skills that they did learn in art school.
Yeah. I
think that happens more than you might think.
But
I think
I think that happens with other, like,
it's not, they're not succeeding in spite of the fact that they went to art school. They're succeeding because they learned how to sustain a studio practice.
No, and there's people
a serious, work on something start to finish conceptually.
Yeah.
And talk about it, articulate what they're doing. And
does it make sense when I say that it feels like they're teaching a hobby? Teaching art practice as a hobby instead of as a career. And for higher education, that just seems like a.
I just think that viewpoint is dangerously close to kind of like the conservative, colleges are indoctrinating their students, or not giving them practical advice for things. And
I would say that if I want to learn how to do something, I would want to learn it from somebody that knows how to do it. And I think that most people that apply to art school are not going there with the ambition of just having an art practice that doesn't amount to a career that is monetarily feasible. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that a lot of people go into the art world with this naive conception of even going so far as to being like, I can change the world. Now, they do teach you in art school that that's probably not going to happen. So I don't know. Some people will probably.
That's why you got to take other classes. You got to take history classes and science
and stuff like that. No, for sure. But I'm saying you go to law school,
philosophy, and
you go to law school, and there's a lot more you can do with a law degree, even if you don't become a lawyer.
I don't know, man. AI is coming for you.
For lawyers?
Yeah. I don't know what
AI arguing robot. All right,
man. I don't know what field is
safe
going to remain unscathed.
Yeah, I'm an AI right now. Well, no, I mean, I think this is an interesting conversation. I'm not that hard. To me, that's a failing. I understand art programs and what they do for people and what they teach people. But I think when you have people teaching people how to get teaching jobs and the jobs are drying up, that is not sustainable. And I think it would be interesting to see where education as a result of that is going, like art education. I don't have a problem with the idea of people learning how to paint and have a studio practice, because that is something that you need to be taught specifically. I'm just saying, on top of that, a little perspective. There's one of my favorite books that I have is Perspective for the Artist. It's like a book on perspective, and that guy's a genius for calling it that. Because it's like there is a blindness to the perspective that is being taught to people. Like, I wasn't until I graduated school that I realized, I don't know how to keep making art in a way that, I have this studio practice, but I don't know how to even integrate myself into scenes. I had to do that on my own, and that not everybody has that. And I feel like I just feel like that's a blind spot. But I'm definitely not saying that it needs to be canceled. I'm not saying that. It just seems.
I think I just disagree with you. I think that it's just your responsibility to learn that stuff.
Fair enough.
Afterwards.
Yeah. But then that informs why I don't want to go to college.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But for me, and I think that's something that even just having this conversation, that most people don't even know that they're not going to get that, and that's not necessarily true for everybody. I mean, I think that Yale, does a really good job, and UCLA do a really good job of getting people's work seen. And
I don't think the school is doing that. I think it's just that people in the business are like, oh, he went to Yale, let's give him a show.
Yeah.
If you go to a program like Yale, it's still very esoteric, not practical. I mean, they have crits that are where they're talking about stuff that like we would consider,
cool,
not helping them succeed in the commercial world.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
yeah.
If you went to Yale, you'd be like, this is bullshit, probably.
No, I mean,
you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm getting good advice now.
Well, I think also like sort of anyway, whatever. I think that I basically your position.
Also, the thing is that the world is changing really fast now.
Yeah. Which is why I don't want old people teaching.
Like I said, it's well, yeah, that's true. Like I said, with social media and everything, like it's changed drastically in the last 10 years. And it's going to change probably even more drastically in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So like, if you're saying like, well, you should be learning, people should be teaching something this way now, the world changes faster than someone can actually even keep up with, like.
But I think you think that I'm saying something that I'm not. All I'm saying is like, it would be good to know what the structures are in school, right? Like not like teach me how to do it, but to just like to have somebody be like, look, I didn't even know that that the main artists in the world were people that had studios like that, and that like just that would be something that I don't think would disrupt the academic process.
Yeah.
It would be it would highlight it. It would make it better. As opposed to just. But then also, like I think that the way that things are taught now, or at least when I was in school, very much lead to situations of people that are disenchanted. We acknowledge the people that ended up going to, disenchanted. They don't really give a fuck. They don't really care about the art world. They're cynical because they haven't had any success, and I think that probably happens in the acting world. There's like that show Barry, I
think it happens in everything. Every sector.
Yeah, for sure. So it's one thing if the whole thing is like this pure thing where all they do is teach you anything, like the art world, but they teach you how to make art, and they teach you resentment. It's hard for somebody that's resentful teaching you to not have some of that kind of perspective brush off on you. And to me, that's one of the reasons that I don't want to go.
They shouldn't be resentful. They got such good pensions, man.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyway.